Hey everybody, this is Cheryl with CNC RV There Yet. And this is a special day because this is a great big nation but a small world. And we are meeting up with friends and folks we work with down in South Florida. And we're meeting up in Pueblo, Colorado. So what a small world.
Taking my chances along with my dreams.
This is Dave and Beth, and we are thrilled to spend time with them. And Dave has been doing some research onto Pikes Peak. And tell us a little bit about Pikes Peak.
Certainly. Well, our daughter lives in Pueblo and we come to Colorado quite a bit, and we've always wanted to go to Pikes Peak and just found out that the Cog Railway reopened after being closed for 3 years. They have new cars that were purchased in Switzerland, and we got the pleasure of coordinating a trip up there last weekend, which was fabulous with our families.
Yeah, so we want to share our trip with everybody about Pikes Peak, but I also want Dave to tell you that he knows about Seba, because years ago when Dave called me and said, I know where Seba is, I thought, he probably don't, but he did.
Well, it's a small world. I was 13 years old. I'm from Jamaica originally, and my dad had business in the Caribbean, and we took a trip from St. Martin to Seba on a Twin Otter, and I had the distinct pleasure of being in the co-pilot seat. And when we landed, I thought the plane would topple off the runway. It was such a short runway, and that was one of the most exciting little episodes of my life up to that time. So it was a great place to visit, and I enjoyed it.
And I was so happy to hear that from Dave, because most people has never heard of Seba. And Seba, if you don't know, has the smallest commercial runway in the world, only 1,300 feet.
Yeah.
So it is, when he said about toppling off, a lot of people think they'll topple off. But we are happy to share our experience of Pikes Peak with you guys.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Just so serendipitous how things work out. We're traveling here, and Charles and Cheryl are here, and we were able to hook up. Yeah, you couldn't just make this stuff up. It was just really great. Yeah.
The best thing about a road trip is meeting up with friends and all over the nation.
Yeah, we've just had a great time with you guys.
Yeah, thank you you guys.
Good to see you again.
Yes. And we will meet back up in Florida.
Oh, sooner than later.
Yeah. Peak is known as America's mountain. Pikes Peak is not the tallest peak in Colorado, but is the most famous peak. It sits at 14,115 feet tall. And Pikes Peak was named after Zebulon Pike. He was an American explorer and general from New Jersey who actually never made it to the top of Pikes Peak because of the harsh winters, but it was named after him. There's different ways of getting up to the top. You can take the 19-mile highway up. You can take guided bus tours. You can go by bike. You can hike, or you can take the Cog Railway. We opted for the Cog Railway, which is a very relaxing ride up, and the railway will take you through some rugged areas of the mountain that you wouldn't be able to see if you go up the highway. So we opted for the railway. It's a very relaxing ride. It's an hour up, an hour down, and you have about 30 to 40 minutes at the top. And I would suggest to spend that time wisely. We stopped for a snack and it cut into our viewing time. So I would recommend to spend the time at the top viewing the summit and not going for a snack. The cog railway started in 1891 and it's recognized as the world's highest cog railway. I didn't know what a cog railway was. Maybe you don't. It's a railway with a toothed central rail between the bearings that engages with the cogwheel under the locomotive, so it provides traction for ascending very steep slopes. So it's perfect for going up this 14,000 foot mountain. This ride costs $71, and we highly recommend, if you don't want to drive yourself, to take the cog railway up. It was such a neat experience, and you will see all these beautiful views from the summit.
Miles long. This is John and Tessa's driveway. And for you fishermen out there who are wondering if you can enjoy these pristine lakes, sorry, this is a private road and belongs to the city of Colorado Springs, not accessible to the public. That we call Inspiration Point, because it was views like this one that inspired her to write that famous patriotic song, And Behold, America the Beautiful. What is called Windy Point. And yes, folks, we have experienced some tremendous winds up here, sometimes over 100 miles an hour. The old stone building on the two-seat side is the old section crew house. The section crew are the crew who repair and maintain the tracks. Back in the old days, before they had their own trains, they lived up here throughout the summer. On the three-seat side to the west, you can see the Continental Divide. Considered the backbone of the Americas, this range stretches all the way from northern Alaska through Canada, the United States, Mexico,
Here is a tip for the top. It is about 30 degrees cooler at the top of Pikes Peak, so I recommend to take a jacket. And the air is thin, so you probably want to move a little slower than you usually do so that you're not out of breath. So here's my tips for the top.